We are at Thousand Trails, Forest Lake.
In Advance, North Carolina, and this is a Campground Review.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride.
General impressions.
This campground has a nice lake and forest and some lesser sites.
A lot of the sites were spread out and had grass and space in between them. Some of them even had really nice cement pads or landscaping. And then some of the sites were a lot closer together.
We stayed in campsite B25. Not surprisingly, it's in the B loop. And all of the sites that we had were close together, less than 15 feet between them. And that's 4 RVs that were really close together, almost like buddy sites, but not.
Yeah, this is sitting in a buddy, like a.
That's true. There is a campsite literally right behind us. And in fact, this is the picnic table for the site behind us.
But if we turn around, our RV is right here.
Yeah.
So these picnic tables are actually set between the two sites. So it is technically a buddy site.
Right. And the 2 fire rings are right next to each other.
You can't tell which one's which.
No, you can't. The site itself was a gravel site. It is fairly level. It did require leveling blocks on one side, and we had to jack up the front of the trailer quite a bit. There was about a 3-inch grade on the site itself.
We had full hookups with 50 and 30 amps, so hashtag 50.
And the sewer 100% requires a sidewinder. It does have all these lovely rocks to compensate for the fact that there's no threading on the sewer connection.
We had a picnic table and a fire ring with the grill combo. They have a propane station with propane for sale at $4.29 per gallon and dumpsters scattered throughout the park.
The campground does have Wi-Fi. It is, however, pay to play at $6 per day being the lowest entry point. It does have some tier options for faster megabits per second. We tested Verizon Wireless at 48 megabits per second download speed and 51 megabits per second upload speed. We did not, however, test Starlink because we weren't here long enough. The campground does have a really low noise level. The G Loop, however, does have some road noise. And our B Loop has this weird buzzing sound that we think is coming from the water treatment plant nearby. Amenities.
They had multiple bathhouses throughout the campground, and each one had several showers as well as bathroom stalls. The decor was dated, but they were moderately clean. One of them, though, had such a horrid sewer smell coming from it, I didn't even want to go inside.
The sewer smell was also present outside.
That's true. It was present outside, and I didn't want to go in.
And the male bathroom had some weird Snow White-esque mirrors on the wall as opposed to a regular flat mirror.
The women's did too. They have 2 laundry facilities at this campground, but both of them are located at the front of the park. There wasn't really any towards the back of the park, which was kind of inconvenient. Each one had 3 washers and 3 dryers, and it was $1.75 to wash and $1.50 to dry. They conveniently accept the CSC app, or they also accept coins. If you need a coin machine, they also have a coin machine in the main lodge.
They have 2 pools, including a baby pool. Unfortunately, both were closed when we were here. The lake does have a sandy beach, and they do allow swimming in the lake, as well as fishing.
It is catch and release, but they don't require a license.
They have a nice playground for the kids. They have a basketball court.
Tennis. Horseshoes. Cornhole. Did I already say that? Volleyball.
Volleyball. And a catch and release arcade.
No.
You put your kids in, they don't come back out again.
Mini golf. We forgot the mini golf. We partook in the mini golf, and it was sketch. It was really sad. I feel like we're forgetting something. Oh, the outdoor theater.
They also have a clubhouse with a place to watch TV, a kitchenette, and a book exchange.
Dog friendliness.
They are fairly dog friendly. There is one medium off-leash dog area. There are multiple pickup stations located throughout the park. All of them have pickup bags, but not all of them have trash cans. But the ones that don't have the trash cans are located near the dumpsters and the bathrooms, so you can throw your poop away there.
Oh, gracious. The off-leash area was really quite small when you consider what a sprawling campground this is. I was really kind of disappointed because some of the campsites are bigger than this medium-sized area that was available for the dogs. It just feels like they have a lot of space here, and they designated a very small amount of space to that being off-leash for dogs. Plus, it's at the very front of the campground near the offices, which is not close to anything else. So it's really not convenient to take your dogs there. Oh. Also, one of the things I was most excited about for this campground was the dog wash area. Once we searched and finally found it, by the way, it's located right behind the church. It was really disappointing because not only did it not seem really suitable for large dogs, but it actually seemed unsafe. It was a homemade bath area, which is fine, but it didn't have any type of railing on it to keep the dogs from falling off or from jumping out. It didn't have any way to keep them into the bath area. Plus, when we tested out the water, because I said, well, you know, we could probably still wash Kayla in it. Let's test out the water before we bring her all the way over here. And we tested it, and all they had was cold water, that's just not, that's not what you want. I mean, I can just wash them here with our shower and use the hot water if I want to do that.
We have a hose for that if you wanted to do that.
Camp store.
They have a small camp store with swag for Thousand Trails, as well as some grocery items, RV items, and other various necessities. There were ice and drink machines located throughout the park, but some of them were not working. Camp staff interactions.
The camp staff here were friendly. However, it did feel like that we were interrupting them even when we were just trying to check in. Now, the moment that you've been waiting for.
What we loved and hated about this campground.
But before we get to that, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps us out. It lets us know that you like this content so we can bring more of it to you. And it makes sure that you don't miss another one of our videos.
There were a lot of feral cats running around throughout the park. Somebody near our campsite, however, was feeding them and putting water down for them.
Also, the mini golf course was in definite need of repair. The trails around the golf course were actually kind of dangerous in places. They had rotting wood, uneven and unstable steps, and areas where the ground had just been washed away. Mini golf was a little sad. Oh, well, and the AstroTurf was completely destroyed on most of it. It was more of an obstacle itself than it was an actual help. I think at this point they just need to rip it up and do like some of the others do and paint it. I mean, even that would have been an improvement over how uneven it was in places.
Yeah.
I think that the main theme of this campground to us was that they seem to have a lot of really great ideas, but just kind of seem to be falling short on the execution or the upkeep of the campground.
There were a lot, and I do mean a lot, of annual campers here. And there were, in fact, there's a sign on one of the bathhouses that talked about how to renew your annual membership. So that does kind of give it the vibe of it's more of an annual campground than it is a transient campground.
And it kind of felt like we were outsiders, even though they do have full hookups and 30 and 50 amp, because the campsites themselves for the transient folks were very small, very close together. It was almost indistinguishable between one campground and the other, and there was a ton of trash in our campsite. Socks, plastic things in the actual fire rings, stuff like that, water bottles, just a lot of trash around the campsite itself.
And the transient campsites all seem to be in disrepair versus the annual campsites seem to be in really good order, where they had like things like cement pads.
And ours had overgrown weeds and things like that growing up through the gravel.
And it was hard to back in. The campsites were not very well laid out, neither were the roads. There was very limited signage. The B-loop sign is very small and kind of stuck to a bush, which just makes it half hidden. And the grade on the road was no joke. Like, you're not going to get up these with a big rig unless you got a good motor or a good tow vehicle.
And even kind of going on and off the road, there was quite a big drop. We had to go very slow just to make sure we didn't rearrange the entire pantry or refrigerator, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I took the drop on the B-loop at an angle so that I didn't risk tipping the RV over. I mean, it was at least this big of a drop in some spots off of the asphalt onto the gravel B-loop road. And the B-loop itself is very skinny and tight with low-hanging branches, and they knew that we were a 40-foot rig.
Okay guys, sorry, it's been a very long end to a very long day and all of our technology just failed, but we want to get through this for you and get this content out to you. So we're using our backup right now. Overall, we feel like it has a lot of potential if they just do some upkeep for the amenities. They have a lot of nice ideas and just not really great follow through on a lot of the execution of the ideas.
Maybe pour some fresh gravel on the sites, at least spruce them up a bit.
To make the Thousand Trails members feel welcome at the campground.
Don't forget to check out some of our other videos up here, or maybe over here, or, you know.
Check out all the videos.
All the videos.